The following podcast is provided by an approved senior care provider on the Answers for Elders radio network.
And welcome everyone to Answers for Elders radio network. And believe it or not, we are coming to you from MorningStar Senior Living in Silver Lake, Washington, also known as Everett, Washington. We are so thrilled to be here in this beautiful community, and working with MorningStar is probably one of my favorite things. One of the things that I've had the privilege of is I live very close to this community. So I've had the opportunity to visit for so many things and do so many activities. And most importantly, my dog Whidbey, for so many of you know that I have a therapy dog, and she and her friends come to visit here quite often. Hasn't been lately because of all the construction, right. But we're very glad to be here. And I'm going to introduce to you one of the absolute treasures that I have come to know and thrilled, Elena Cuevas, and you're the Vice President of the West Coast region. Is that correct?
That's correct. So I work with MorningStar. I've been with MorningStar just about a year now, and I oversee 8 different properties or community homes in the Western region. So Oregon, Washington, California, Nevada, and that's about it.
Yeah,
as we continue to grow.
You were telling me yesterday that you were home 4 days last month.
I was home for 4 days last month. I'm very involved in all of our homes. I like to be on site visiting with our residents. I've been doing this for over 21 years, and you cannot keep me away. Can't keep me away. I love being able to enjoy our residents, have lunch with them, converse with all the happenings that are going on in their lives and within the community as well. So while I started as a concierge or receptionist 21 years ago, 21 years ago, again, you can't keep me out. Just kind of grew my way into senior living, and I'm here now, and it's been a blessing, and I don't want it any other way.
Yes. And the thing that's so impressive about MorningStar Senior Living, and of course, you guys just recently came into the Pacific Northwest region because
that's correct.
You were actually it used to be what was called Garden Court years ago, or before.
Correct.
But then last year, MorningStar acquired the property. Correct. And there's all these improvements happening, which is incredible. Yeah. I am so impressed with all of the new construction that that is happening here. For those of you that are in the area, if you think you've been to Garden Court and you've been to a quote unquote this community, you haven't. And there's been some incredible upgrades made that are just so amazing. And the staff here is incredible. And, I am getting to know you so much, and I love so many things. And one of the things that Elena and I are going to talk about first this week, we're going to go through 4 of the 8 foundational principles of wellness. And wellness is kind of a kitschy term, and many times people will say that, but they don't really understand what is true wellness. And especially in our industry, where we have scenarios where we use that word, what does that really mean? And I think one of the things that we all as families, we want wellness for our loved ones, but we don't necessarily know how that's created or how that's made up.
To take a holistic approach to wellness, right, Suzanne?
Yes.
And there's so much more that goes into it. So, yes, we're going to talk about the 8 various dimensions of wellness that encompass a holistic approach to making someone's survival that much more realistic.
Yeah. And I think that's what's really important too, because obviously this isn't just a coin phrase with you guys. You guys have a foundational, principle, and it's almost retakes me to when we were all in school, we learned Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And I think all of you that are watching on camera on YouTube, you're going to see, remember that little triangle that we all studied? And I think the bottom was safety and security, and then it went up, and the very top was self-actualization.
Correct.
As individuals,
Correct.
things that we need. But I think there was 4 categories.
There's 4 categories that go up into that. And one thing that we're not going to talk about in this segment, but when we look at safety, or maybe we are, it's going to be just that necessity to eat well, to survive, just to have the basic principles of survival, of making sure that we have that security in our overall wellness. Right. So, but it is that is that absolute foundation. We all need a roof over our head. We all need clothes on our backs, and we all need food in our stomachs.
So I'm going to ask you, you've been in this industry for
21 years.
21
years. Yeah.
So being in this industry for 21 years, you came to MorningStar in the last year.
Correct.
Tell me what struck you, and this is a big move for somebody who's been in the industry for as long as you have. I mean, tell me about your thoughts about MorningStar when you came here.
So as you mentioned before, Suzanne, we just acquired the Western region. We actually started in Colorado, Denver, Colorado. Ken Yeager is our founder and our CEO for the company. And, he started with wanting to have a better location, better place for our residents, for our parents. His mom and dad actually lived in both of our communities down in Colorado, which was amazing. So he really wanted to start a company that has what we call different our principles and values and beliefs, right? So from trust, fairness, honesty, love, compassion. So these are some of our founding principles as a company. While we're a Christian-based company, it's what makes us human. And I think that's really what truly attracted me to this company, is as a human myself, I was attracted to those principles, to those basic necessities, the basic needs that makes us a better person.
Well, and I think the impression that I always get, which I love when I come here, it's all the staff, they treat all the residents like their family.
Correct.
I mean, there's this feeling of connection that you guys have instantly built with the residents that are here, and you can see it on their faces. They all have smiles, they're all laughing, they're getting involved in things.
It's our main core value. It's love.
Yes,
love doesn't happen without family, without that security, without respect, without that honesty and for each other. And so that's really what attracted me originally to MorningStar, is our founding principles and beliefs. Again, just because it's something I've always practiced and it's never been put into words, just like it has with MorningStar. And we are new to the West. The other thing I love about MorningStar is we're actively building these beautiful new communities. Yes, Silver Lake is an acquired building, meaning that we bought it over, but as you can see, we are transforming it into a MorningStar building, bright, beautiful, new.
And what's interesting too, is like you have this brand new, beautiful community in Kirkland.
Correct.
But it's very different.
Yes.
Because the communities are different.
Right.
Kirkland is a very different, quote unquote, demographic than at the Everett Silver Lake area is. And it's funny because when I talk to people, it's like every single senior has a different value system, you know, and what's most important. And, a lot of people, they like coming into this building. What I love about MorningStar here, Silver Lake, is this, it's like, it's just a branch of like you're at home. It's not necessarily something that you're going to see a fancy fountain in a lobby. That's a nice place to go visit. But a lot of people, they don't want that in their everyday life. They want to put their sweatpants on and go down and have lunch. They don't have to feel like they have to get dressed up. If they want to get dressed up, they certainly can. But it's a different culture where I know other communities, you get dressed up for every meal. And this might be important to some people. And again, what's most important to your loved one is kind of helps you think about, how to make those choices in the best way that most fits your loved one. And I think one of the things that I'm going to say is when I go back and you shared with me these foundational principles that you live by, I think this explains a lot of why you are who you are. And this really we can see it.
Absolutely, Suzanne. And it's like what you said originally, it's being well. What is wellness? It's not just a word. It's a fundamental concept and a practice that we do every single day in all of our communities. And we strive to make sure that we enhance the wellness of our residents and our family members at the same time, because it is a family. It's not just four walls.
No.
Everyone can have those four walls. I have four walls at home, but I'm never home. But if I was, what makes a home is the people inside of it.
Sure.
And that they're well and they're well taken care of. So we'll go into those 8 dimensions of wellness, which I'm excited to do because it's so important to the foundational core of us being human.
Yes, yes. Well, I'm excited to get into the meat of all of this. And I think to our listeners that we have here today, I think it's really an important time for us to take a look while you're hearing these, and we're going to share all 8 next month. We'll do the last 4, and we will make sure that we put an announcement out that we're going to be continuing the 4. Matter of fact, we'll maybe create a little social media infographic on it.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah.
So one of the things that I'd love to do is have each one of you think about, when we go through these principles, what's most important to either me or my loved one.
Right.
And think about, no matter where you go and where you are in the United States, MorningStar is in how many states in the US right now?
So we're in over 12 different states right now. Mostly we're not in the East Coast. Okay. So that's the only area that we're not in, but we're in Colorado, Utah, Idaho, Texas. I mentioned, I think Colorado, California.
30 communities, something like that.
We have 34 communities and actively growing, as you mentioned with Kirkland. That's our latest and greatest from the ground up. Hillsborough, Lower Hearst is coming. We have one in Vegas that we're building actively right now. Incredible. 2 in San Jose.
One in San Antonio, I think.
San Antonio, Texas was built and opened not too long ago. So we are an actively growing company.
That is so incredible.
In the purpose of serving our seniors. So I'm just so excited to be, again, another key point of what brought me to MorningStar is the growth that MorningStar presents, and these beautiful, brand new communities from the ground up, to be able to be on the ground level of starting something new.
Yes. And we're going to be right back right after this with our first founding core principle.
We at Answers for Elders thank you for listening. Did you know that you can discover hundreds of podcasts in our library on senior care? So visit our website and discover our decision guides that will help you also navigate decision making. Find us at answersforelders.com.